Welcome to this very special episode of Women Getting Visible. This is our speakers episodes. We are getting ready for the Minneapolis show and conference. I'm Christina Vidovich, visibility strategist, joined with Amy Noobsome, a growth strategist, and today our special guest, Tracy. Welcome, Tracy.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So excited that you are going to be in the room and speaking to our audience. Yay!
I'm
Yeah.
super excited too. I can't wait. That's gonna be just to be able to attend the conference too. Super excited.
Yes, yes. So tell us a little bit more about what drives the message that you want to share.
What drives it is really, I had to do a lot of work with this too. Like you think back and you're like, well, you'll do something that you're not exactly proud of, or you don't know why you reacted so much. And what I found out about the window of tolerance and how it plays into the human emotions, and the more I got excited and I wanted to learn more about it, because it really helps us understand how human beings actually work. And then you can say, well, it's more human. It's because we're human. It's not necessarily just because it's me. So it was really just exciting to say, okay, this is not just me. I'm not alone here. We're human. This is what goes on in our heads. We have a thing called the window of tolerance. And once we stay in there, we react consciously. And when we jump out of the window of tolerance, our emotions take over. And that's when we do things probably a little less consciously and emotionally charged. So it was just, and once I understood that, it was just a light bulb going off, right? It's like, okay, this explains so much. This is how I can do it. And then thinking, then working my way through of how can I identify, where I am in the window of tolerance and what it looks like when I leave and come back in. So really kind of exciting.
That's so fascinating. The whole words put together, window of tolerance.
Right? Like, what is that? I want to know more.
Yeah, it's definitely it's actually rooted in trauma research, and it's just an amazing. And a lot of people don't know about it. I didn't know about it the first time I heard about this, like 4 or 5 years ago, and I was just like, wow, it makes so much sense. When I said it clicked, all these things started popping into place. Like, oh, that's why. Oh, this is why attitudes of your attitude and like your meditation and you're having the gratitude speeches. That's why you do all that stuff. I remember it really clicked because I was like, remember during COVID, they just like flooded us with all of these, meditations and affirmations and do all these things. And they never said why. And this is the reason why. It was like, oh my gosh, this is why they gave us all these tools, is because this is what's happening, especially in that crazy emotional charge of COVID times, right? So that was a big click. I was like, oh, it's like the precursor of why you do all these amazing tools that are out there for you to kind of help you with your emotions, right?
So, what I love about this is that the window of tolerance as business owners, Christina and I'm sure we both have gone through a huge range of emotions. There's constantly things going on, and how things, matter of where we are does really help. That window of tolerance, that idea of just going, oh, that makes a difference. So, one of the questions we love to ask, Tracy, is why does visibility matter to you?
I felt invisible for so long, right? And then how do you stay visible, and how do you stay visible the right ways, right? There's a lot of ways that you can become visible, and it's not probably, the best for your career or your growth. But then, how do we do that? What's the best way? What's worked for other people before? So it matters to me because I'm further along in my career, and I wasn't very visible in the beginning, right? And a lot of us women fall into that trap. It's just like, okay, my work's going to show what I do. No one's going to, I'll be good at what I do, and they'll see me because of my work. And through my career, I found out that doesn't really happen that way. And but yeah, so that's why I'm excited for this conference, because women need the message as soon as you can get it, even as an early child, to be like, it's okay to be visible. You're allowed to be visible. You be you, man. And it's like, and you'll shine. And so that's really what I'm excited about.
Yes, I love that. I love every single word that you just said right there. It's absolutely so important to be able to teach women as young girls that it is okay to be visible. It's okay to be in our own skin and get out there in the world and just be us. There's nothing wrong with just being who we
And it doesn't matter what age, you could be in your 60s and still not feel visible or being seen, right? And that's the beauty about visibility is it's whenever you are, that's where you are, and it's okay. We're here to help you, to show you what to do, or even just give you an opportunity to be included in the room. Yeah.
are. Absolutely. So, Tracy, when you give your speech of, or talk, excuse me, Tracy, when you give your talk of the window of tolerance, who do you think this lands with best? What kind of woman that would be in the room would really resonate with this?
I think everybody can, in all honesty. I don't mean to be like sound generic, but we all have emotions. We all have had our emotions take the better of us, and to understand and learn how we can stop that before it happens and what it looks like and how our brain works and response to emotional triggers is just fascinating, along with so beneficial to everybody, because it allows us again to show up to the person we want to be seen as, and allows us to, as I said, be visible in the way we want to be, right? So I think everybody will be great for this. This is not only for work, it's awesome for home. If you have kids, it helps you understand some of the things that they go through. I always use the example, it's like if you see a 2-year-old temper tantrum, yeah, way out of their window of tolerance. So that's an extreme look of what this can look like. But as you know, there's no talking to them, right? And we even as adults, we as adults can get into that same state. It doesn't look exactly like that. We don't throw ourselves on the floor, right? But you don't listen to anybody. You're just like, well, or you get indifferent. There's a whole bunch of different ways this can look like, and that's why just understanding that and realizing that there is a way to stop that and how you can work on that. That's why I would say everybody needs to have this, just to really help, like I said, yeah, and be visible the way they want to be seen.
I love that.
Yeah.
Even thinking back at some of my like moments, I'm like, ooh, I'm really not very proud of that. And I'm like, ooh, I was totally out of my window of tolerance just by knowing, your content. And it's like sometimes it almost makes me feel better about those situations where I didn't show up so perfectly, like the way I wanted to, right? But that's kind of how we are. There's a whole
And
range of
again,
emotions, and I probably did that a lot more as I was younger. But yes, yeah.
we are emotional beings, very, very much so when you're younger. So I have two younger daughters, and I see it a lot. But yeah, you're right. It's really how you can notice it and just understand what it is. It's amazing. And like I said, it's just I hopefully what everybody else will have is these light bulbs that come off, and it also allows us to have some common language about it too. And then it actually, when I was able to say, "Ooh, I'm outside my window," or I was outside my window, it helped me communicate that better. Along with if I tell people that are around me, it's like, hey, you know what? I'm sorry I behaved that way. It wasn't intended to be that way. It really just helped me come back to them and say, that's not how I wanted to show up. You didn't deserve that. And if they know about the window tolerance, also, I can say, I do know I was outside my window and I apologize for that. It gives you that common language. It gives you that, um, the ability not to say just pass the blame onto something else, but allows you to like humanize the the behavior you had, and makes you help move forward. Right? You say, okay, you can forgive yourself first about that behavior, and then and go, if you have to, apologize. I've had to, and say, you know what, that really wasn't the behavior I wanted. So again, the language just really helps, take it away from just, oh, it's just me, it's just me who does this, to we're human, we do this. Now I can move forward, forgive myself that I might have had this emotional, spike, but I can move forward, right? And I can make it right. So that's another great piece of it. And it also helps you on the other approach too. The more you understand that window of tolerance, you can actually start to identify when other people are might be really close to jumping out or even outside their window. And it allows you to give them that empathy that says, you know what, maybe this isn't the best time to talk about this right now. I'm going to give them space. I'm going to let them come back into their window. And that's when that's when they react consciously, and you can have a better conversation. So it's twofold. So once you understand it for yourself, you're able to start seeing it for other people. And it's like giving them that forgiveness and saying, you know what, this isn't the best time, and working through that way. So that's another amazing piece. Yeah.
Well, what I love about such a simple idea really helps us in all of the different areas that our conference is about. We have about clarity, courage, and confidence. You know, that touches in all of those areas, right? It allows us to understand what's going on. It allows us to do a courageous action, maybe apologizing or stepping out of ourselves for a moment and saying, wait, give myself some grace here. And then it's to becoming that confident person that goes in the moment. You're like, I know what's happening, right? I know how to adjust here. So I love this topic. It's such an easy one to identify in all three of those different categories that this conference is all about. So we're so excited to have you come in and talk about this and help women understand, like, oh, there's a different way of seeing this. And how can I apply it to myself?
Absolutely. That was just well said. I can see how this also, as you mentioned, it interweaves with clarity, confidence, and courage all the way through it. And it just helps you become the better person that you want to be, so.
Yes. Which ultimately helps us with our visibility because we feel more confident to show up who we are when we feel like we can get inside these, the window of tolerance and get ourselves back there to be that person consciously aware of what's going on to step into our visibility.
And
Absolutely.
With that, this has been an amazing interview with you, Tracy. Thank you so much for joining us today. We want to invite all of our listeners and all of our viewers to join us in Minneapolis, June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for the Women Getting Visible show and conference, where you can meet more amazing speakers like Tracy.
Share your story.